Hey, everybody, we're here for a new episode of Five for Talking, NHL Finals edition. I'm here with Caps, the captain of the show, the muscles in the sauce. He's the boss. Joe, I was going to say Joe Costanza, Tony Danza. Okay, so I think Vegas was the best team in the West at the end of the year, but I think this is surprising for both of us, Vegas versus Florida. Both teams that have been to the finals once, both teams that have no Stanley Cups. So yeah, this is gonna be a weird one. Do you have any takes on that?
Um, well, we're definitely going to be seeing a brand new Stanley Cup winner,
Which is exciting.
and which is exciting. However, I have no idea who's gonna. I have no predictions. I have I have no idea who's gonna come out on top.
So I've heard this take a few times now of whoever is the best team. So in the hockey, this is the playoffs. Anybody can win all the way through every round, but in the finals, always the better team wins in hockey. So it's like the
So who's
underdog,
the better team?
but that's the thing. Technically, on paper, it would be Vegas. Vegas was the best
Yeah.
team in the West. However, I will 100% put my backing that the Florida Panthers are going to win. I think the Panthers beat Boston, the Panthers beat the Leafs, the Panthers beat Carolina, which are the three best teams in the East. They beat all three of them. And
In convincing fashion.
yes, very convincing fashion.
Well,
And
maybe with the exception of Boston, but yeah.
however, Boston was the best team in the NHL ever in the history of hockey this season. So, I mean, yeah. Vegas did not have the easiest road to get where they're going. And I think their wear and tear is going to show a little bit.
But they've been off for like a week now, no?
Yeah, but the Panthers have been off for a really long time.
Yeah. I mean, rest is a huge thing for the playoffs, and the finals has taken a long time to start up. So I'm thinking some of that rest, was detrimental for both teams. Florida must have paid off from that rest a lot because they were off, like you said, for a while.
Florida, I think, is a different scenario for me because I think a lot of Florida's what they were doing well was they were just playing really good. They had really good chemistry. It was really good, just a team game. Vegas felt more like they were riding a hot streak. And the worst thing you can have when you're riding a hot streak is that you get time off. I think Florida will come in fine because they're just having really good team chemistry. And I don't think that's going to go away from having time off, especially if they spend that time off together, right? So I think there's a little bit, but you could argue it both ways. So I'm not going to pretend like I'm some kind of expert on team chemistry, but
It's a really good take.
I think
really
Florida's going to win. I genuinely, I think it'll go more than, it's not going to be a sweep. It might go 7.
I don't disagree. I mean, anything can happen. That line of Bennett, Montour, and Kachuk, man, is like doing wonders for that Florida Panthers team. And they keep, it seems as though they get under the skin of the opposition. The opposition has no answer to it. So, man, and Bobrovsky, dude, out of nowhere. I mean, he was having his challenges, but this playoff series, or sorry, this whole playoffs, he's turned it around so much, and he's carrying.
So
this team a lot as well.
here's the thing. I want to talk about Bobrovsky for a second because there's a lot of this. Turned it around, and it's nothing to do with you. I'm seeing a lot of this on the internet, right? I don't feel like he turned anything around. They're like, oh, he's finally playing up to the level of his contract. Yeah, sure. Maybe in the playoffs, he's playing better than he was. Since he's come to Florida, he went 23-19, which is a plus record. He went 19-8, which is a plus record. He went 39-7, which is a plus record. And he went 24-20. He's not been playing bad ever since he's been on the Panthers. So it's like maybe the massive contract is a little bit high, for people's liking, but I don't feel like he's played poorly. Like he's not a bottom feeding goalie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, I will say that he's stepped it up a lot during this playoffs. I mean, like
He's on another level.
11-2.
I'll agree.
Yeah, he's on a totally different level. 11-2 and
Okay.
.935
You know
save
what? Let me
percentage.
rephrase what I said. It's not what you're saying where he stepped it up. He did step it up. It's to the people that are surprised that he's a good goalie now is like he's always been a good goalie. But yeah,
No, it's
you are
absolutely
correct.
awesome.
And
No, it's absolutely.
he's playing fantastic. You just those stats you said are insane. And he's having one of the best runs ever for a goalie in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember what game it was, but he held off Carolina to a 1-0 win. That's insane. Like,
Against the Leafs, he was holding off 50-shot games.
Yeah, man.
So, I mean, this is what I want to say. He's going to win. I think this is my opinion, okay? So, everyone, if you don't like it, it's okay. It's not fact. Sergei Bobrovsky will win the Conn Smythe Trophy even if they lose the cup. And he'll be the first person who did that in a long time. I can't remember who the last one was, but it hasn't happened in a long time. I think it was John Gibson or whoever the Anaheim goalie was when they went to the finals and lost. Was that Jaguar?
I think so.
Let me use the old Google.
Conn Smythe being the MVP of the playoffs, correct?
Yeah.
I remember, if I remember correctly. I was thinking more Matthew Tkachuk.
I think it's undeniable though what he's done.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, when you look at Matthew Tkachuk, I mean, when you have a guy, Matthew Tkachuk, and he's on these other sports TV shows for their playoff series, it's like, I would imagine that the NHLers, they're gonna like expose that as much as possible. So I would say Matthew Tkachuk and but hey, both. I mean, Bobrovsky is more than deserving.
I'm just saying, okay, in a losing scenario, I wouldn't give it to Tkachuk. In a losing scenario, if I had to pick someone from the other team, I would pick Bobrovsky. But if they win, I think there's a chance for Tkachuk. So I just checked it. I was wrong. Reggie Leach is the last player to win on a losing team. He won in 1976 against the Canadiens. He set the record for most playoff goals with 19.
Interesting.
At that time, he set the record.
So let me ask you, if who would you say would be the MVP for the Knights? And I'm sorry, I know you weren't probably prepared for that question. It's just something that came to my head right now.
Honestly, nobody. Maybe Petrangelo,
this is more of a team effort, I guess, right?
Yeah, because this is a thing too that it's funny. Someone pointed this out to me. If you look at their statistics at the end of every game, sometimes they score 7 goals. So let's say Mark Stone, who just recently came back, or Jack Eichel will have 1 goal, and then the other rest of the goal scorers will be people that I dare the casual hockey viewer to name who they are. Like Jimmy Bucket Squire scored a goal tonight. Like they're getting goals from everyone, and very few of the points are coming from their top guys. You know what they remind me of? Tampa Bay. 2 years ago, Tampa Bay. Just they're getting points from every single person on the team.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Eichel's got 18 points in 17 games, and it seems to be spread out amongst
they're pretty spread out.
4 other players that have.
But look how many of like the random fourth liners have goals. Like they're getting points from everywhere, and good for them. That's how you got to win in the NHL now. It's no longer the super team; it's the team playing team.
I would dare say, like, maybe their goalie Hill would probably be deserving of.
Okay, that's a good choice. Actually, I forgot about Hill
because,
and he had to step up.
He stole some games, man.
Yeah.
Wow. I remember that glove save on.
They're down
off that person in Dallas.
They're down their starting goalie. They're down their backup goalie. their third string goalie is now carrying them through the playoffs. And he played a lot of the games, right? Doesn't he have like 12 games played?
Yeah. If I could pull up his stats, he has played. He's got a record of 7-3. So he's got 10 games.
Well, he helped them beat
937 save percentage.
Yeah, crazy.
A better save percentage than Bobrovsky. But
let's go through what they're projecting as the lines for tonight. So for Florida, you have Verhaeghe, Barkov, and Duclair, which has been a great line. Yep. Then at the second line, there it's showing Cousins, Bennett, and Tkachuk.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the third line is showing Listerainen, Lundell, Reinhardt, and then the fourth line you got Lomberg, Stahl, and Colin White. So
Montour's injured?
Montour's defense.
Oh, wait a minute.
He plays on the line with Tkachuk.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. He's their defenseman on that line. Yeah.
All right.
It's because that's why you always see them together.
Just threw me off. Okay.
Hey, that's okay because he does play with him very often. So, for Vegas, we have Barbashev, Eichel, and Marchessault, Howden, Stevenson, and Stone, Riley Smith, William Karlsson, and Amadio. Amadio's been getting he's been everywhere. Will Carrier, Nicholas Waugh, and Keegan Kolesar.
Repeat the first line.
It's Jack Eichel or Barbashev, Eichel, Marchessault.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a really deep team. And their defense is deep too. So is Florida. That's funny because I remember we were arguing that with Anthony coming into the playoffs about Florida having a pretty solid defensive core, and Bargo was not hearing any of that. I think if anything, the picture of Gudas screaming in what's his name? Our goalie, Samsonov's face.
Was it Samsonov?
Yeah, I think so.
Or was it Wall?
It might have been Wall. It was Wall, I think. That will live forever in memory of Bargo thinking that their defensive core was bad. Good.
And what the hell was Gudas doing all the way up there? And
and if you watch the replay of that, he skates up so fast, and I just remember him being the slowest player ever. So good for him.
Where the hell did that come from?
He was waiting. That was his moment. He's been waiting for his whole life. They played in the background. It was playing Phil Collins, and he's like, "I've been waiting for this moment." Anyways, okay, I think we're good for NHL talk. Let's talk a little bit about the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh, come on.
Hey,
before we go to the Leafs, do we want to do breaking news?
Okay, tell us breaking news. Because it's Leafs related. It's Leafs adjacent.
Yeah. Jackets are targeting Mike Babcock.
The Columbus Blue Jackets are targeting Michael Babcock.
And I don't think they're able to announce it because his contract with the Leafs expires June 30th.
Yeah, I think they have to wait. Either way, I don't think the Leafs care.
No.
Hey, I got my iced coffee just so for everyone out there, and I made an espresso and I dumped it in there.
There you go.
But yeah, it's. I don't know.
I didn't think he would ever get an NHL job ever again.
I really hoped he would, and I think he's. Listen, as much as I would love to say this from a hockey aspect, Joe Quenneville is the new coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. In that same vein, I don't want either of them to work again. They're both garbage. They're not bad coaches. Garbage people. Yeah. To have done what they've done throughout their careers and to have ruined so many lives, it's hard, right?
Yeah.
I don't work for the Leafs, so should they sign Joe Quenneville, I really can't do anything about it, but I won't be happy. I mean, like I said, from a purely hockey aspect, sure, that's great, but the things that they've been a part of is not okay, man.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you said it 100%, man. I really can't add to that. It is a bit surprising. Kind of feels like the team is or the organization is taking a step back by hiring that kind of a person. I don't know. You pretty much said it, man. You pretty much said it.
So being Leafs adjacent, we signed a new GM. I don't remember his first name. Trevling.
May I?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. When I sent you embargo the notification of Trevling coming to Toronto, I wanted to express to you guys how I felt, and I just didn't know what to say. And then before I got a chance to, you sent a message, and you mind if I read it
Go
out?
ahead, you can read it. It's not to private.
First two messages that you sent were, first one was meh, and the second one was not bad, not good. And you pretty much hit the nail on the head with that, because that's exactly what I was thinking. You know what I mean? It's like, it is what it is. It's not bad. It's not good. He steps into a situation where he's got maybe five really good players that he could build around. He's going to find himself in the same challenges as the last GM had. I think he's okay with the situation with some of the players that he has, but he's just going to have to, work a little bit of magic to build around that.
Can I name those 5 players? Can I try?
Of course.
Marner, Matthews,
Yep.
Nylander, Samsonov, and Luke Shen. That's the 5, right?
Luke Shen.
I
mentioned before, Luke Shen is definitely someone I want back. Samsonov, I want him back as well, but they're going to look for some more money, and it's going to be hard.
So
it's going to be hard.
I was surprised you agreed with me on that. To be honest with you, I didn't have an expectation for what you were gonna feel, but my only options for you felt like you were gonna lean very heavily into the positive or very heavily into the negative. I didn't feel like you were gonna land somewhere in the middle where I did. But as we had a conversation, so I'll continue what happened in this chat group, where Bargo was being really down on it, I started looking at more of the positive side of it, and he has made nothing but good moves for Calgary. Calgary's success is not his success or not unsuccess. Failure, unsuccess, is not necessarily his fault. I think every trade he made was a really good trade. It wasn't his fault that Tkachuk blossomed as fast as he did in Florida and that his guys didn't. But I mean, Weegar was one of the top defensive defensemen in the league coming off a year where he was one of the best offensive defensemen in the league. Kadri played well. That was a good signing. You got a prospect. You got a first-round pick. Huberdeau, unfortunately, didn't show up.
Yeah, I mean, Trevling spoke about the Tkachuk situation. So basically, Tkachuk went to Trevling and said, I will not sign long-term with the team. Trevling looked at that situation and said, okay, well, if you're not going to sign, I'm not going to just let you walk off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make a trade and bring some players in, and hopefully, the Calgary Flames stay competitive. I thought it was a great trade.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think losing Tkachuk is the reason that they turned upside down this year. I think losing Gaudreau is the reason that they turned upside down this year. Because if Huberdeau didn't show up, so that's a factor, right? But I think if he played at least decently, and you still had Gaudreau, I think it would have been a different story. But Kadri's not going to put up points like Gaudreau does, so you're already at a loss there. However, that's neither here nor there. If you look at his situation, what he did, which I think that was an excellent trade, you can probably name more than one player on the Leafs that's in that same situation of I'm not signing long term. Okay. And I would take that Huberdeau trade package any day for Mitch Marner
Yeah.
or Austin Matthews. Not that I want to. You could probably get more for Marner and Matthews, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. I have a question. Did Trevling hire Sutter?
No, I believe Trevling came in after Sutter was already there.
Okay.
Sutter's been there
Okay.
for a long time.
Okay. Okay.
Right? Am I
I wasn't
wrong? Or
sure.
am I thinking of LA Sutter?
We would have to research that. I think some of those players that Trevling brought in, I think they are effective players. I just didn't think they were suitable for Sutter's system. However, that's we touched on that before, but I think he'll be okay. I think he understands the situation. He's going to definitely find out that there's you got Calgary media, you got Toronto media, and they are two different things. So he's going to be under a microscope. But
He did hire Suter.
he's-
He did hire Sutter.
he did.
Yeah, Sutter has only been there for 2 seasons, and Trevling was there for 9. I was thinking of LA Sutter that was there for a while.
Yeah. So I lost my train of thought, but
Sorry, I'm sorry.
No. I think I was touching on, Trevling is going to find out pretty quickly that he's not going to have any time to chill. He needs to get going right away. I mean, a few of his players are going to have no moving clauses coming into effect at the end of the month.
I mean, the guy's made some good trades. He's made some good draft picks. He's managed his Calgary Flames pretty well. He took an absolutely terrible team and turned them into the team that they were, not this season, but the season before, through what he did. And with the Leafs, he inherits an even better team. I'm curious to see what he could do with the pieces. I'm not upset by this. Like I said, I don't think this is like some huge, massive win we should be celebrating in the streets, but I also don't think it's a loss.
Yeah. I think it'd be okay. It'll be okay.
It could be a lot worse. We could hire Mike Babcock or Brian Burke.
Also, time we might hire Joe Quenneville as a coach.
Hey, you know what? Like I said, if I won't like
he's he's not reinstated, so he wouldn't be able to get hired yet.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you don't have to. I think there's a lot of things have happened, and okay, so you're gonna hate me for this, but a lot of changes have happened. A lot of big changes have happened, and I've talked a lot of doo-doo. But I think with the kind of team we have and their mentality that they have, changing out the entire coaching staff could be detrimental. They are ready. Yeah.
One of them got signed to another team. One of his assistant coaches is gone already.
Yes.
So,
but that was an expired contract.
Mm-hmm.
Not Dubas. Keefe's contract is not expired. They all reacted very negatively to the loss of Kyle Dubas. And now you brought in a new GM. I'm kind of worried that if you change the coaching staff, they're all going to be like just done. They don't seem to take this kind of stuff very positively as a unit, where like the fans and the organization are like, these moves are positive. We're moving in a new direction and we got to keep going, where the players are like, oh, you got rid of my buddy. I don't like that.
Well, they need to come to the realization that this is, a business as well. So,
they're all still really young.
Yeah, people come people come and go, and they're gonna have to get over it. I mean, I think you touch on it. Like, I think they were getting a little too comfortable, and they need to change things up a little bit and make it a little bit uncomfortable, so that their jobs are on the line and they need to step up. Like, it's as simple as that, and that goes with anything. That's not just hockey. It's just everything. You can't be complacent.
I think as far as this situation now, okay, and I'm going to say this, and I'll stand by this forever. Austin Matthews is the best player on your team. Austin Matthews is one of the best players in the world. He's arguably already one of the greatest goal scorers to play hockey. That is your primary target. Whether or not you get Mitch Marner back or Nylander Tavares is completely irrelevant. You keep Matthews, you build around Matthews. Like, everyone in Leafs Nation needs to get off this. We need all of them back. Listen, I understand. I would love to have Marner back. That would be great. But if you can't get him, get somebody else. Because as long as you have Matthews, that's the only thing that matters. Do you think Edmonton cares if they lose Draisaitl? They don't give a shit as long as they have Connor McDavid. You know, what's a bigger loss for you? Oh, we lost McDavid, but we signed Draisaitl. Congratulations. Like, you lost like one of the greatest players of all time. So yeah, I'm sorry, but that's what it is.
I agree.
You know, we lost Yari Curry, but we kept Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else. Do you?
I do.
No, go ahead, bring it on.
Dubas.
Oh, the
Dubas to Pittsburgh.
Dubas to Pittsburgh. I mentioned this in one of our previous episodes. That's exactly the kind of guy they need. They have
He's not a GM though. He's not hired as a GM.
President of Hockey Operations. Yeah. So do you know what that means? Well, that's a position I wanted him to have on the Leafs because I also want Brendan Shanahan to go. However, he gets the call on everything.
Yeah.
Right. And now he gets the call. His big complaint was that Brendan Shanahan was shutting him down on big trades he wanted to make.
Autonomy. Yep.
So I think this is going to be huge for him. What this means for Pittsburgh is a lot because they are a team who has struggled mightily with cap issues throughout the years and needs a guy who comes in and knows how to make those small little tweaky trades like the Leafs have been doing that help out a lot. And that's exactly what Pittsburgh needs. They need Malkin back on track because Malkin has been very down lately. If you saw the thread of text messages that have come out from the Penguins players where he says nobody likes him, the coaches hate him, the GMs hate him. You need it. And yeah, they're older, but I mean, you're not going to be upset having Crosby and Malkin on your team. So
I agree. He's gonna, I mean, he's not even like, he's still in his 30s and he's a president of hockey operations. Good on him, man. Good on him. But he's going to bring in his people that know how to do the job. He's going to have full autonomy. And he's going to be able to build a hockey team the way he wants to build it. So I'm pretty sure like the first person he met with was Sidney Crosby. It'll be interesting to see what he does with them. And they're going to be competitive. They are going to be competitive. He's going to bring some people in that are going to help. He needs to stay away from one of our assistant GMs in Toronto, which is that guy that helped build the cap. So
yeah, we need him.
We need him. Good on him. I got texts from different people saying, "Oh, what an ass!" Like he promised to not pick up a job from. I'm like really? Like who cares?
No, and okay, I agree with it from the standpoint of yes, it's good that we let him go now. I think because clearly there's more to the story than we thought, and like everyone that was so forgiving of him and being like, oh, Shanahan was so wrong for what he did. I don't agree with what Shanahan did, but I'm starting to see more and more that there was clearly another side to this story that we just don't know about, where Dubas was being a weasel.
Sure.
But Shanahan needs to go too. You could take him with you in Pittsburgh if you want. Hashtag hire Doug Gilmour. Wendell Clark and Doug Gilmour. Let's go. One gets the GM spot, or one gets the coach. One could be president of hockey operations.
Oh gosh,
I would love Wendell Clark as the coach of the Leafs. Just punching people on the bench who don't listen to him.
Need experience, man. Need experience. I don't think he's ever coached. Gilmour's coached, But Clark, I don't think has ever coached a team before.
Yeah, Gilmore is an assistant coach right now on somewhere, isn't he?
I believe he's head coach of a team. I just don't remember what league, but
I mean, Patrick Waugh just won
yeah.
the QMJHL championship. What will we bring him into the
Yeah,
Leafs?
but he's nuts.
Yeah, he's nuts,
He's
but we need
nuts.
nuts. Let's get nuts. Let's get Michael Keaton.
Oh gosh.
He has to play. He has to stay in character though, as Batman.
Hey man, what we got? 2.5 more weeks that movie comes out. So anyway, that'll be fun. That's it for me, man. I got nothing else.
That's it for me. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, hopefully you did. Let us know who's going to win the Stanley Cup in the comments. And peace out.